Good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Tamarra here again, and I just wanted to give you a little bit of an update on my dread journey so far. It's been 21 days since I put the brush down, stopped traditionally styling and brushing my hair, and I am only shampooing. I'm no longer conditioning, and I'm letting my hair dread, and I'm also taking a few of those starter dreads and making my own dreads. So it's a little bit of neglect and a little bit of twist and rip method to create the dreads that I currently have. So let's see what I have so far. Okay, so in the first video I showed off how I made a dread. And it was, I think, fixing an old dread, which is a lot of what I'm doing right now as I learn the process. And so what I've done is I do have a couple, more than a couple now actually, a few going on along my top layer. So this was one that I actually have fixed a couple times, and I fixed it yesterday. And the newest addition to what I'm doing to help keep my problem roots, the roots from unlocking, is I've added small black hair elastics tied really tightly as close to my scalp as possible so that it is locking up. And so far, over one night, that one has done fairly well. I have a larger one underneath that I've done the same thing to a couple days ago. And so here's a nice big one that I did, and I have an elastic right up at the base as tight as I can. And so I'll tighten that up, and then I'll continue to tighten the lock up around it. But I'm also, like I said, as I mentioned, I'm also trying to do a little bit of neglect. So I'm really just leaving my hair and letting it do what it wants to do. And because I have curly hair, a lot of it is creating, separate, solid sections of hair instead of all those individual hairs. So a lot of these sections are what I'm using to create the dreads that I have. So here's that big one underneath. Here's Twiggy. Twiggy's got her bead on her, and she will probably remain small because the bead will stop anything from coming directly into it unless it goes across the bead. I don't know. Maybe that's how they grow. We'll learn as we go. So yes, today what I wanted to do was give you a little bit of an update. 21 days, and I probably have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I'd say 8 to 10 dreads, 8 to 10 sections of hair that are locked up in knots, whether they're mature or solid yet. I know that they're not. I'm totally learning and locking as I go. So what I did want to show you today was what I am doing. So this one is a really problem one for me right now. I'm not sure what to do. Yesterday the base isn't locking up, and this piece was loose, so I started trying to pull it out. And actually I'm going to try to continue to do that a little bit. Oh, ta-da! So I did that. Ouch. Okay, so that's what happens when sometimes hairs get loose or into the lock, or lock into it and you didn't want them to. Sometimes there's some really big stray ones, and what I did was I literally just kind of loosened everything up. But so now I have this not so pretty one, and it has this bubble up top. And that's because I tend to tie it back a lot, but I also want it down, and so it has too much movement at the base. So this is one where I'm going to want to probably put an elastic right there at the base. And then when I get that elastic in, what I'm going to do is probably relock that one. So I can show you right now if you want what I do to remove it. I'm not sure. No, I'm not going to do that whole process right now. So yes, what I did want to show you was that this is a lock that's been happening, and I'm sure if I leave it alone and start training it, I think there's like a twisting method where you can just keep twisting it, hoping, twist and back home, twist and back home, twist and back home, and then put it, trusty comb, so we twist it and back home it, twist it and back home it, just trying to get that base to lock up.